Let's talk a little more in detail about the WeDo motor. Turns out we can control the direction and the power of this motor. Let's start with direction. Up here you can see in our program there are a myriad of blocks that have the motor in them. This one is the motor that way, or maybe it's the motor this way. I have a hard time telling them apart. This is the motor this way block, apparently. It will run the motor forever in a certain direction. So if you press play, it just runs the motor, and then we have to go press stop. Note that it runs it forever, so you have to do a little work with the timing on your own. In this case, I've picked the motor to run one direction. I've said wait a second, because the wait block works in tenths of a second, so 10 tenths of a second is a second, and I told it to switch directions. So, ta-da! Alternatively, because it's annoying to have your motor keep going forever until you press the stop button, we can use the run motor 4 button, or motor on 4. In this case, we set the direction of the motor with the motor this way button, but that one actually doesn't take control. That just sets the direction, and in this case it will run the motor for, again, 10 tenths of a second and then stop it, so we don't have to press the stop button ourselves. Watch. See? Pretty cool. Now let's talk about power. So motor power is very important, because if you don't have enough power to complete the task you want, then obviously you can't complete the task you want. Also, you don't necessarily want too much power, because then it'll get done too fast or it'll break the assembly apart. So you need to be careful with how you set your power. This icon here looks like a gauge, sets the power for the motor. Here, I've put the motor on 10 and then picked a direction. The motor power varies between 0 and 10. 0 is off, 10 is high power, and the rest are pretty evenly spaced in between. So I've set it, and then I'm going to run it. And that's the motor at full power. Again, we have to stop it. For this next one, also, I've shown that you can interrupt a currently running motor and set the power differently. So here I have it set, so I set the power to full, run the motor in a certain direction for 2 seconds, 20 tenths of a second is 2 seconds. And then, it's still in the same direction, because I haven't used a different direction block, but the power is now half what it originally was, and it runs for 1 second. See? So affecting the power has a lot of applications in constructing things and trying to make your construction do something. If you don't have enough power, you won't be able to do it. If you have too much power, like I said, it'll break it. Also, power can be used to control the speed of rotation. More power will probably make the tires spin faster, and less power slower. However, slowing down the spinning by giving it less power is not always a good idea, because you may end up in a boat where you don't have enough power to accomplish it. In that case, sometimes it's better to gear it down, as talked about in one of our other snippets, to achieve lower speeds. Why don't we try out this little car with some different powers on this slope? So, first we'll try it with a power of 1, see if it can make it up the slope. Oh, not quite. Alright, now, let's give it a power of 6. We don't want to give it 10, we don't want it zipping off the top, but let's try it. Look at that. So I say experiment with power, maybe timing, maybe some gearing and some clever construction. See what you can make this motor do.